What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? This is the 17th episode of the Educated Black Siblings podcast.
Yes, it is.
This is your boy G, and in front of me is my sister. Introduce yourself.
What up, everybody? It's Lindsay. You already know what it is, and I'm the other half of the Educated Black Siblings podcast.
That's right. That's right. Happy to be here today. Just want to give a special shout out to everybody on Twitter and Instagram that's been interacting with us at the EBS podcast on both of those platforms. We really appreciate it. Keep showing us love, man. But let's get right into it. Lindsay, how you feeling today?
Man, I don't even know how I'm feeling. I hate Texas, low-key.
Man, the weather's been bananas.
It's April, and I have an event tomorrow. It's talking about the high tomorrow is going to be 50 degrees.
Yeah, but I think we're kind of insensitive because like people on the East Coast, they had like something called a nor'easter, so it's like actually snowing and stuff up there. I think
That's fine because they made the poor decision of living there.
Facts.
But
Facts.
This is the South.
That's a facto.
This is the South.
That's a facto.
Facto?
That's a facto.
That's a facto.
Yeah.
You should get facto tattooed on your shoulder.
Nah, I'm good, bro.
No? How you been?
Man, I've been all right, man.
Okay.
Like you said, the weather has kind of been messing with me a little bit. It was 80 degrees on Tuesday, 60 degrees on Wednesday, then it bounced back up to 70 degrees, and tomorrow it's going to be 50. So needless to say, my allergies are tripping.
Bro, perfect segue. So let's talk about this. How crazy are allergies?
Allergies are bananas.
But let's stop for a second and think about allergies. There are people out there. My best friend, she literally can't eat strawberries. Like, if she touches a strawberry, she dies.
Okay.
That's weird.
Dramatic, but okay.
I mean, but she literally has a pin in her backpack that's like, hey, in case I touch a strawberry, jam this into my leg so I don't die.
Are you prepared?
Yeah.
Man, you're a good friend.
I'm there for it. Like, I've got to be prepared because you know how many times I've accidentally given her strawberry?
Man, that's cold, bro.
And I'll just pop Benadryl in her mouth. But allergies are weird as heck. She's allergic to freshly cut grass. So not just like...
What friend is this so I can roast him?
Ashley.
I'm not gonna roast Ashley. Shout out to Ashley. But you good, fam.
Nah, I mean, not if you're allergic to freshly cut grass. But that's just wild. Like, I have friends that are allergic to, like, red dye. Like, literally the color red in food. That's weird to me.
That is kind of strange. It's kind of strange.
Let's stay on this real quick.
On allergies?
No, not on allergies. Any other random tidbits of information. Let's just, like, random factoids. This is going to be our new segment today.
Is that how you want to start the podcast?
Our podcast today is going to start off with new facts. I've got another random fact for you.
Okay.
Did you know that a red velvet cake is chocolate cake with red coloring?
Yes.
Bet money I didn't know that.
I don't need to bet. You just told me you don't know.
Wow. You didn't have to do me like that.
I'm just saying.
But I did not know that. I've lived an entire 26 years of life. Did not know the red velvet cake was chocolate cake.
All right.
Is that like a well-known thing? Everybody else knows this?
Hey, guys, at us at the EBS podcast on Twitter and or Instagram if you also did not know that red velvet cake is chocolate cake.
And if you did, don't do me. It's fine. Red velvet is still tasty, and I like it more than chocolate. Sorry, that's where my mind's at right now.
I can dig it. I started a new book.
Okay.
By Don Miguel Ruiz.
One more time for me?
No.
Okay.
But it's a book called The Four Agreements. It's really interesting. It's a self-help book. It's basically it's a Toltec wisdom book, right?
Okay.
But it's basically the premise of the book is that everything that we believe and that we know is an agreement that we've either made with ourselves or the outside world, right? So it's like when you subscribe to your religion, it's like you make an agreement that, hey, I'm gonna follow through with these rules or anything. But anyway, he gives you these 4 different agreements that he's saying if you make these agreements with yourself, you'll live a better life. And the 4 agreements are: be impeccable with your word, don't take anything personally, don't make assumptions, and always do your best.
Ooh.
I haven't finished it yet, but it's very, very interesting so far. Like he spends the first chapter talking about how we actually spend the first few years of children's lives domesticating them like we domesticate dogs.
Okay.
And it's like, that sounds strange, but it's like you train your children almost the exact same way. It's like, no, don't do that. Yes, do that. Here's a treat for doing that. You know what I mean? That sounds strange, but it's like, anyway, it seems like it's going to be an interesting book, so I'm there for it. It's a pretty popular book. If you guys listening would like to get it for free and read it along with me, you can go to audibletrial.com/EBS podcast. That's audibletrial.com/EBS podcast. You can sign up for a 30-day trial at Audible. It's an audiobook service. You can get this book for free because you get a free book credit.
Freezies.
And then if you want to cancel it, you can. But go ahead and get the book so maybe we can read it together like my sister talked about last week, and we can get it popping.
And also, like I mentioned, if y'all get the free trial and you join, let us know what books you're reading and we'll read them with you, and we can kind of have like a dialogue or maybe start a book club. I didn't know this because I signed up through the EBS link and then kept the subscription. They send you like credits like every month.
Yeah, they do.
So literally I've got like stockpiled credits of books that I can just click and be like, yo, let's get this one, this one, this one. So y'all let us know and we'll read them with you. I'm also reading a book currently. I've been dragging it out. It's called You're a Badass, and it's like how to stop doubting yourself and believing in something. I don't know, by Jen Sincero or something like that. But it's actually really interesting.
Like my wife read that book.
Yeah, I borrowed it from her.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's super interesting, and it's just literally, it's exactly that. It's realizing how you as an individual are great, that you have greatness to offer, and how to stop doubting yourself and limiting yourself in the things you do, and just to, realize how awesome you are.
Self-development is important, but that's enough intro. Let's get right to the really, really important topics. Who bit Beyonce?
Listen here. I have not opened up a single article.
Beyonce was bitten.
I don't care.
The internet believes that Sanaa Lathan is the one that bit Beyonce.
I'm mad. I got on Twitter and people were out here talking about I didn't bite Beyonce. Like full-blown actual celebrities. I'm not here for it. You understand? I'm not.
The internet is 100% sure that I checked this morning. People believe that Sanaa Lathan, like this is a real story, people are saying. And Sanaa Lathan apparently bit Beyonce on the face.
No, she didn't.
And you know what makes me mad? Like Tiffany Haddish, why are you sharing these stories? You know Beyonce is never going to hang out with you again.
Listen, Tiffany, you started off as like the cool aunt that we were okay with at the barbecue. Like she's kind of crazy. You look, you drunk in the corner, but we were okay with because you're funny and chill. But you're starting to turn into that like uncomfortable like neighbor that comes to the family cookouts that's overstaying their welcome. I low-key think Tiffany Haddish needs to be quiet a little bit. Is that wrong to say? Don't come for me, Black Twitter.
She may need to be quiet. She should stop talking about Beyonce being bitten.
Stop saying dumb stuff. Did you know that her and Kevin Hart have a movie coming out?
I saw that they have a movie coming out. I didn't see the trailer. I saw that there was a trailer, but I didn't see the trailer. I
don't know how I feel about that. How do you feel about Kevin Hart, like movie-wise?
I've enjoyed Kevin Hart's movies. The only Kevin Hart movie that I just explicitly didn't like was the one with Will Ferrell in it.
Well, that's because you don't like Will Ferrell.
Because Will Ferrell was in it.
Because I like Will Ferrell and I laughed at that movie. Even though there's a very uncomfortable part in the movie.
Do you not like Kevin Hart as an actor? Is that what you're saying?
I do. I just think that I've seen moments where I feel like he's going to be more than he is. I just kind of feel like I don't know. I was a super big Kevin Hart fan, and now I kind of feel like I'm almost burnt out on Kevin Hart a little bit.
We'll see. But, I mean, Tiffany Haddish is that new freshness, and that's how you stay fresh is by putting yourself next to the new freshness.
Now that she keeps talking about Beyonce.
Oh, yeah, the Illuminati going to get Tiffany Haddish out of here. She keep talking. They have to – here's the thing. People don't understand this. It's like, have you ever wondered why you don't hear more stories like that about celebrities? It's because at those parties – no phones are allowed. Mm-hmm. And in some cases, they literally make you sign an NDA. Yeah. And it's like, Tiffany Haddish, she's going to get herself blackballed from these events. Real quick. Because, they're like rumors floating. Like, they do crazy stuff at these parties. Yeah. And if Sanaa Lathan is biting Beyonce, I guarantee you that's not the first person she bit.
So you're saying that Sanaa Lathan is just like a serial biter out here?
She's a serial biter. Your first bite is not Beyonce. Beyonce is not the first celebrity that you bit on the cheek.
But what if it is? So what if it was just like being in her presence
made you want to bite her?
I don't like. She was just like so intrigued.
How drunk do you have to be to say, "Ooh, Beyonce," and bite her?
I hope that y'all heard the clicking in his teeth. I don't know, man. But anyways, speaking of movies and other things, so Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry.
Medea.
Tyler Perry.
Medea.
I'm not doing this with you. So Tyler Perry came out with a movie called Acrimony. Have you heard of it?
Medea goes to Coon. I'm sorry.
Did you just say Medea goes to Coon?
No, I've not heard of. I've not heard of.
So
Acrimony.
it's featuring Taraji P, which I love Taraji, but not Tyler Perry. But I don't want to talk about the movie. I want to talk about Tyler Perry in general.
Okay.
So this movie it's out now. It's at 25% of Rotten Tomatoes. Has a 4.8 on IMDb. So it's not rated.
4.8 out of what? 10?
Yeah. It's not rated very, very highly right now. But I've got a question. Why is there so much hate on Tyler Perry? Like, why does he not have the backing that other black directors and writers and creators have currently? Is it because of Medea? Like, you threw that out there, but is it because of Medea that we don't value him the same way that we value others?
Yes.
Short and sweet. There it is.
I mean, because it's like when you look at a Spike Lee who's done Do the Right Thing, who's done School Days, who's done the movie with Know Your Baby. Why can't I think of the name of the movie? She's Gotta Have It, right? Or you look at a Ryan Coogler who before he did Black Panther did Fruitvale Station, etc. Like a lot of people look. I'm not saying I feel this way about Tyler Perry, but a lot of people look at Tyler Perry and they're like, all right, well, you're just perpetuating a lot of black stereotypes and letting white people laugh at you dress up like a woman, right? They say, oh, you're just shucking and jiving. Whereas like some of these other people are like, oh, we've got this message. People need to see that our people are going through X. Which again, Tyler Perry has messages in his movies, so I'm not saying that he doesn't have messages in the movie, but I think a lot of people feel like Tyler Perry plays a lot on. He plays a lot on the socioeconomic tropes, if you will, that are in like every Tyler Perry movie has a single mom and the really, really snaky suit wearing black brother, but the black brother who just wants to see his kids and he's a mechanic and he just needs a little bit of love and he gonna be able to turn his life around. Like that's is that not every Tyler Perry movie? You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like, I don't know.
But like I said, a lot of people, their go-to answer is that, oh, well, he does Medea, he acts a fool, but did Martin not dress as females? Did Eddie Murphy not do this? Like, do we diminish them and their legacy, if you will, in Hollywood because of that? Like, so is it just
Tyler Perry funny?
There was a time where I thought so.
I can dig it.
But then it's like, was I laughing because of the outrageousness and because of the stereotypes, or was I laughing because
look, I'm gonna be 100 with you because this is my podcast. I can be 100.
Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
Nah, I don't have a good answer. I don't know. I don't have a concrete answer for why I don't like Tyler Perry. I just have never liked Tyler Perry. Even before Tyler Perry blew up. Like I'll never forget this. It was when Medea. It wasn't like a big time movie yet. They were just doing the plays, like and mom and dad took us to the play, and I was like, "This is ridiculous. I don't want to watch this. Like this is strange."
This is strange.
I've never liked Tyler Perry.
So I used to like the stage. Like I was there for that. So I really like musicals, and I was there for it. I don't know. I feel bad for Tyler Perry. I don't know. But he also brings this upon himself. Like I'm not there for any of the Medea movies. Like so I get that. But like his other movies, so like this one or A Family That Prays, like I genuinely enjoyed that movie. Like I mean the stereotypes were still there. I enjoyed that movie. But I just feel like in this climate, why can't he get more backing or more successful, or black people are just...
I just don't like his movies.
Is that it? So it has nothing. It's just I don't like that brand of humor. I don't like.
It's the same reason why, like, I didn't go see Wrinkle in Time. It was a children's movie. It's not for me.
Okay.
Like the Medea movies. I'm not feeling them. Okay. And it's almost like the I don't know, man. It's almost like slave movies. It's like I don't need to see any more slave movies.
Bet.
And it's just like I don't need another Medea movie. I don't need another. I just
You know what's crazy about that? And we have to keep stay on this for a while, but I think that the era of slave movies is done.
Gotta be.
Like, I feel like at this point, if you try to make a slave movie, like, you're gonna get demonized. There's no way. Like, we are all about that black excellence, and it's like we know the history. We don't need it.
And just to go back, man, I guess you're right. It's like we should, in this period, this black renaissance in Hollywood, if you would, we should support Tyler Perry. I just don't like his movies.
Fair.
You know what I mean?
They're just bad, and I feel bad for Taraji P. I want her to do well. I like her, but she keeps making these terrible decisions. Did you see Proud Mary?
Nah.
You heard of Proud Mary?
I did hear Proud Mary though.
Ain't nobody go see that movie.
Look, and that has the only. I have a very small child.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't get to go to the movies that often. When Proud Mary comes to Redbox, well, I'm gonna rent that.
What?
You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna rent that.
I'm gonna rent that for sure.
There it is. Well, I'm just curious. Well, y'all let me know how y'all feel about Tyler Perry, and if you'd go see a Tyler Perry movie.
So Trump sent the National Guard to the Mexican border.
Okay. And
they're not. They've been ordered not to directly interact with Mexican citizens and or immigrants, but they're just there to provide surveillance. And liberals are like losing their minds over this. It's like you're militarizing the border, et cetera, et cetera. And it's like I'm usually all there for bashing Trump, but it's actually not a big deal. Barack Obama did the exact same thing in 2010. It just didn't make news headlines because he's not a bigot. So it just
fair.
But Barack used the National Guard troops for the exact same thing. They're just there to provide surveillance. Bush did the same thing. This is pretty common. And the reason that I'm bringing this up is because a lot of times we over sensationalize the stuff that Trump is doing. It's like, granted, Trump fires a lot of people, but most presidents get rid of everybody. Like that's why there's a changing of the cabinet, right? So you align people with your people. Most people don't fire. They don't fire people every week like Trump does.
And it's like, oh, you're investigating me. Your time's up.
Yeah, I'm just tired of over sensationalizing everything that Trump does. Like, just because you sleep with a former porn star, like that doesn't mean that we have to.
Let's go ahead and pause on that real quick. We do need to talk about that. We can't. We've got to go ahead and bring some light to that. I don't think that's okay. That's not okay.
Why not?
I'm just. Listen.
Do you know how many Americans watch porn?
Do you have the stats?
Most of them.
Almost all Americans.
So how you gonna get mad at the president when he wasn't even the president?
So there's a difference between watching porn and sleeping with a porn star.
He was at a porn convention. Do you know
what?
the story?
Tell me what you know. Give me the facts.
So Stormy was like, man, we was at this. Stormy is the young lady's name.
Are y'all on the first name basis?
This is the young lady's name. And by the way,
tell me more about Stormy.
So I didn't know who Stormy Daniels was because it's not my thing, right? I didn't know who Stormy Daniels was.
It's not my thing.
And I just saw 60 Minutes scandals. Stormy Daniels talks about affair with the president. So I Googled Stormy Daniels.
Sweetie.
Like, oh my God.
No. Hello, Stormy.
Why is this happening?
Oh no.
But yeah, apparently she went on 60 Minutes. They paid her to be quiet and she signed an NDA. And now there's like, she's trying to sue to get out of the NDA or whatever. But basically, she's just coming forward to tell people that she slept with the president before he was the president. And listen, guys. Here's the thing. I don't even want to talk about this, but just listen. Stop it. Stop trying to throw morality dirt on Donald Trump. That's not a thing. He's
untouchable.
There's no moral thing that is going to impeach Donald Trump. Him cheating on. So it was a year after he married his wife and 6 months after she had their first child that he slept with this porn star. Right? This is the story that people are trying to spin. And I'm just like, unless Trump does something illegal, It doesn't matter.
Not even that. He's going to have to kill a puppy on the White House lawn with his bare hands until we actually care about something he does.
It's fair.
Because think about all the things he's been accused of.
It's fair.
Literally all the things. But this has to matter, though.
Why?
Because he's...
Why do we care who...
Because he's the president. So let's rewind.
He wasn't the president then?
I don't care. Let's rewind... How many years? 10 years?
Have you never slept with a porn star?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Let's rewind 10 years or whenever Clinton was president.
Okay.
Like Monica Lewinsky, hello?
He was the president. He
I
was
understand.
a sitting president and he had sex, he had oral sex with an intern in the Oval Office. That's a little different.
Okay.
JFK had sex with everybody.
Okay. But I still, at the end of the day, I still feel like there should be some sort of standard when it comes to the office of the president.
Why? Republicans don't actually care about the sanctity of marriage, only when there are gays involved. That's the only time that matters.
Fair. But if he's out here just not caring, I just feel like that sheds a bad light on America. And I feel like we keep diminishing what that office means, where at this point now anybody, like any celebrity, any whoever can step in and be like, I think that I should run the presidency. And I don't think we need to be there. It's like, I'm sorry, I get your whole thing was drain the swamp. I don't want swamp drained. I want politicians to run the country. I want people that know what they are doing, that have been trained in this, that were groomed for the presidency to run the office.
You want a politician to hold the highest political office in the land?
Yes.
What a novel idea.
Right? So I don't know. I just can't.
It just trips me out though. Just going back, I don't want to detract from what you're saying, but just going back to the fact that people are actually expecting this to matter. I feel like the fact that everybody seems to have forgotten that a week after this man got inaugurated, a story came out that there was footage of him urinating on Russian prostitutes in a hotel room and nobody cared. It's like, there's nothing more morality wise that has to do with his relationships, etc., that are going to put a dent in him.
Yeah, there's, before he was elected, videos of him speaking, talking about he was walking around grabbing females by the hoo-ha, was out here in these streets, and we were like, okay, cool, that's fine, do you, Trump?
So you think that damage has been done to the legitimacy of the office of the president?
Yes, I do. But real quick, before we move on, back to Stormy.
Daniels. That's her last name.
I'm sorry, Miss Daniels. I put some respect on your name, sweetie. Isn't it illegal if you sign, was it an NDA?
She spanked him. She talked about that in the 60 Minutes interview.
I would like you to stop
she said,
talking.
She said that he started the conversation by showing a picture of him on a magazine cover, and she said, "Does that usually work for you?" And he said, "Excuse me?" And then she balled it up and said, "Pull your pants down." And then she spanked him. There's video footage of her saying this, which is hilarious.
I didn't need that.
I wanted you to have it.
I didn't need that where I was trying to go.
But I wanted you to
And I don't think the audience needed that. Nobody needed that. You wanted to throw that 2 bits in there. Moving right along.
Sure. Moving along from the president of the United States being spanked by former porn star Stormy Daniels. with the magazine
of his face. Of his face. That's like super meta. I don't want to be here for that. I'm not there for that. I love how tickled you are. It makes me upset. But can you do that? Can you sign? No, shut up. Can you sign one of those agreements and then be like, nah, I'm a talk?
It's a contract. So when you break it, I haven't seen her NDA, but there are penalties for. I think the rumor is that she has to pay $1 million every time she talks about it.
Well, and then I heard there was a rumor that there's a loophole because he didn't quote unquote sign it.
It's possible.
So I don't know. That's weird to me. But I feel like I'm not defending Trump because, it's Trump. But if he signed that and she's out here talking, I feel like he's allowed to take legal action. So I don't know, man. Isn't a part of that story that he sent like Goonies to go threaten her?
Something like that, yeah.
Possibly, allegedly.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
You can't prove that,
You
though.
can't prove that. Yeah. But if that's true, okay, Trump. Live your best life.
Speaking of Trumps. So, I don't know if we talked about this before, but Vladimir Putin won the Russian election. So, he'll be in office for the next 6 years. And in Russia, you can serve as many terms as you want to as president, but you can only serve 2 terms consecutively.
How many terms?
So this will be his last. This will be his last term in office. So then there'll be 6 years without him. He'll be the prime minister, but that's how that usually works. But so anyway, his first order of business when getting back into office was poisoning a former double agent.
Okay.
So this is the whole. I find the timing of the Stormy Daniels thing and this thing very, very interesting. I don't want to be that guy, but I feel like people are distracting us from like serious stuff. So like the UK told all of the Russian diplomats, you can't be in the UK anymore. Mm-hmm. Send them home. United States sent 60 Russian diplomats home. Russia said, all right, if y'all gonna send our diplomats home, like that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Right? And the reason that they did that is because this man, I'm gonna butcher his name, my apologies, but his name is Sergei Skripal, and his daughter were in critical condition. And the reason that they were in critical condition is because there was poison on the doorknob to their house. And they traced the poison. It's a Russian nerve gas, right? That's only produced in Russia. And the plot thickens is because this Skripal man was a double agent. So he was a spy for Russia that got sent to Britain to spy on Britain, but he flipped and he gave Russian secrets to Britain. So Russia finds this out. 20 years ago, they arrest him, sentence him to a jail sentence of life, right? But countries do this all the time. They do spy exchanges. It's like, all right, you give us our spy back, we'll give you your spy back, right? So he was a part of one of those exchanges. Okay. So the Russians gave him back to Britain, and he's just been a British citizen for all this time. He goes home with his daughter. His 33-year-old daughter has nothing to do with anything, and they both get poisoned by a nerve gas. It's like the witness that found her said this lady was just sitting on the park bench, and her eyes were completely rolled in the back of her head, and she was foaming at the mouth, right? Like this is like serious war crime. Like nerve gas is not like nerve or agents. You're not allowed to use those, right? So it's like when they asked the Kremlin to comment on it, they were just like, nah, people get poisoned. We didn't do it, right? But it's just like the fact that the UK felt strongly enough that it was the Kremlin that did this. To expel all of the Russian diplomats from the UK. It's like, why is that not like a front page news? Like, this is a movie plot. Yeah. Like, a man reached to open his door and then fell down and died. Well, he didn't die. He's in critical condition. But actually, as of today, he's okay. But I'm just like, man, that's bananas, because something like that doesn't happen without the sanctioning of the government. Like, you don't just, like, Putin is out here killing his old spies. And nobody cares.
Well, the thing is, this has happened multiple times in the last year and a half, where there's been major uproar, or something has happened that should cause major uproar, but then something in our, like, not pop culture, but something else going on. Like, there's been other news stories that have detracted from the major story. Yeah. So what's the correlation there? Like, so are we... Like, who do you think is in charge of creating the distractions? Who are we going to attribute that to? Or is it just a coincidence that this is happening?
I don't know that it's necessary. It seems uncanny. You know what I mean? I'm not the tinfoil hat conspiracy theory guy, right? But it just seems interesting that like all of our news headlines are dominated by Donald Trump talking about the military at an Easter parade, when like a sovereign government killed a British, or tried to murder a British citizen. Like, this guy he's a British political officer, and somebody tried to murder him on British soil, and they believed that it was the Russian government. Like, that's a big deal. Yeah. We believe it so much that the United States said, hey, all of the other Russian spies, because let's be real, that's what a diplomat is, right? They say, all y'all gotta go. Yeah. Like to walk into the Russian embassy in the United States and say, we feel so strongly about this, all of y'all gotta go home. Like, that's bananas.
Yeah.
Anyway, y'all know I'm afraid of Russia, so.
Yeah, hey Vlad. I think that I think the international news is interesting. I think that we as Americans, I feel like we don't care. I think we need to care more.
We should care more.
Like, we should definitely care more about what's going on in other countries. Like, I have a friend who I met in college. She lives in the UK right now. Like, she was from the UK originally. She goes back, and every now and then she posts stuff about like she'll go on her rant about the Western world and all this and blah blah blah. And then I'm always like, why is she so angry, or why is she so this and that? It's because over there, like, the actions of the U.S. have major ripples in the world. Like the effects that we have on other countries is insane.
Yeah.
But I think that we are so consumed in our lives and our trivialized things that we don't see the effects that we have, or we don't realize the effect that other nations have. It's just because we're so big.
It is, and it's privilege. It's because we're big and because we're so dominant. We have so much power.
Yeah.
And it's like, it always amuses me when people in Europe, again, it's wonderful that you speak 5 languages, mm-hmm. right? But they try to make it seem like, oh, we're better than you. The reason that you speak 5 languages is because you have to.
Yeah.
Like, you're bordered by 5 other countries. I can just speak English and be perfectly fine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you speak my language. I don't need to learn your language. And I'm not saying that that's my attitude, but I'm saying we have that privilege as the United States.
Yeah.
So just like you said, like, things that happen here, our culture protrude outwards. Like, we affect the rest of the world in a great way. But mm-hmm. in a lot of ways, American day-to-day life is isolated from the rest of the world. Yeah. Right? But it's like when you live in the UK, something that happens in Ireland, like, that's an hour away.
Yeah.
Like, you care about what happens in Oklahoma because it borders you. Like, I think mm-hmm. that people forget that we're far away from Europe. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But I'm with you. I think, I care about world events. I think that we should care about world events because they do affect, like, the fact that we're in a trade war right now with China. Mm-hmm. Like, China's not backing down. Like, that's going to affect prices of everything. Mm-hmm. And what's interesting is China is targeting industries that directly affect red states. So they're directly they're imposing tariffs and taxes on industries in states that support Trump. They're just pissing Trump off. Like, he is really upset about it.
I love how petty people are.
It's hilarious.
I can't.
But anyway, I'll talk about politics all day. I don't want to. Let's move on, man. This has been a great week for music.
Okay.
A lot of dope music has come out.
All the musics.
So, a whole bunch. I promised you guys that I would give a Royce da 5'9" review, just because I like bars.
Go ahead, because I didn't listen to it.
Royce da 5'9" is a fantastic rapper. That album was not great.
Ooh.
So it was very New York. It was very boom bap, which is great. It's cool. But, like, it got kind of repetitive after a while, which is interesting. I think Royce. So I gave it a 2.5 out of 5. But Royce, that's not to diminish the bars. Royce da 5'9" can spit. But he put out a song called Boblo Boat with J. Cole, and man, it made me want a new J. Cole project. But
what else has Royce da 5'9" done? Because I know that name, but what, like,
he was in Slaughterhouse.
Okay.
It's a group with Joe Budden.
Yeah. I don't like Joe Budden.
Also, The Weeknd dropped a new EP. Did you listen to it?
No.
So the new Weeknd EP, I was really, really excited for because I really, really loved Trilogy, like the first Weeknd
So
stuff.
that's the Weeknd that I like.
And he is back.
Okay.
What woman was he that? Was it Selena Gomez?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody hurt this boy.
Listen.
And he is back to the.
Okay.
I'm sorry that I love Your Sorrow Weeknd, but Your Sorrow makes me happy.
Listen, I know this is a terrible thing to say, but Pain produces some great music. Like Adele, I love you. But when you got happy and got married and had a kid, like I didn't like your new stuff, Adele. Like I like that 21, that 19, like that hurt, that longing, that yearning for stuff, that angry, like we could have had it all. Like I like that Adele. I don't like this happy, cheery, hello Adele. I don't like that. I need some pain in my music. I want to feel you going through. That's it. I like that. I want to feel you going through.
Did Drake just drop a new song?
So I'm sorry, y'all. I literally, when Gilbert was talking, I was going through my Spotify, and literally Drake has a new song out, and I was like, did I just overlook that today? But
no,
I think
I looked at all the new releases,
and I was like, no, I think he
dropped a new
literally dropped it as we are on air.
because it's midnight on the East Coast.
That makes
So
sense.
we're not going to talk about it right now, but what we're going to do is as soon as the podcast ends, we're going to do a live listening of the new Drake song on Instagram, my sister and I.
Okay.
Live reactions.
Live
All right.
reactions.
Moving on to the rest of the new, that just added to the new music
Added
for
to the
this
new
week.
music.
There's a new group that one of my frat brothers turned me on to. They're called Flatbush Zombies. I'm not going to talk a lot about Flatbush Zombies, but these cats can rap. Like, if you've never heard of Flatbush Zombies, go check them out. Again, I know what y'all want us to get to. We gonna get there. We're not there yet, right? Slim Jimmy put out a new single.
Slim Jimmy.
That's the guy from what's the Ray Shrimmer?
I know.
You're not there for it? All right, whatever. There's this girl named Alina Baraz. Is that how you say her name?
Yeah,
Baraz?
Brass, something like that.
My gosh, she dropped the album. I've already we all know Cardi B dropped the album. We're gonna talk about that, but this album severely distracted me from Cardi B's. I listened to this album 3 times today. Like like she said in an article that her influences were Adele, Amy Winehouse, and Corinne Bailey Rae, and that's what she sounds like. Like
I'm there for it.
It's fantastic.
She was featured on an EP that I loved a couple years ago that dropped in like 2012 or something like that. But I didn't realize that she had dropped like her own stuff. So I'm there for that because her voice is super, super soothing.
It is.
And I really liked her and what she was putting out. So I have to go listen to that.
The name of the album is The Color of You. And it's really good. She's got 2 songs with the boy Khaled, the one that made the Location song.
How do you feel about him?
So I really, really enjoy his voice. I enjoy his cadences, etc. I like him on every song that he's featured on. Like the joint that he was on the Black Panther soundtrack is fire.
Yeah.
Both of the songs that he's on The Color of You are fire. Sabrina Claudio, we're gonna talk about. Well, I'm gonna talk Sabrina Claudio. Y'all know I love her. She was on the first podcast ever. We featured her song. She dropped 2 new songs today that are fire. One of them is featuring him, and it's fire, right? I'm saying all that to say I didn't like his album, but the reason I didn't like his album was called what, like Teenage something?
American Dream or Teenage.
It's about being a teenager, and I'm not a teenager.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like he was talking about struggles that are unique to being a teenager.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't relate to it. But it's like I love his voice. I love the cadences. I love the pockets that he hits. Like he's really, really dope.
I was gonna say the same thing. Like I enjoy his features, but his body of work I didn't necessarily. Like I wasn't necessarily there for it. Like it didn't resonate with me.
Yeah, but I'm willing to keep him around. Like I like him. And then another new album that came out was Kali Uchis. This young lady is just Amy Winehouse.
She's also been somebody that's secretly been out here getting featured, like dropping stuff over here and there. But I'm there for her.
I got introduced to her on the Flower Boy album. She has a feature. Can I get a wish? And can we make it last forever? I don't know what song that is.
See you again, boy.
See you again.
Another shout out to the first episode. Daniel Caesar. She's on his album, and I was like, what is that angelic voice? And it was her, and I was there for it. And then, of course, with Tyler, the Creator. I love her.
She's super weird.
Extra weird. Her videos are hella weird.
But she looks like Amy Winehouse. And I didn't realize this. She's Colombian, I guess.
Okay.
And she has a song that's in Spanish on this album. Gave me my whole life. Like I love it. I'm just there for it. But
okay.
Let's get to it, man. Cardi B. Cardi B dropped, man. 13 songs, man.
So let me go ahead.
6 of them we already heard.
Before we get into it, Cardi, I appreciate you for not doing what everybody else is doing and just flooding my life with 30,000 songs. Like, I get it, y'all. Like, I get that you've got music that you want to put out, but listen Drake, listen Chris Brown, listen Ray Shrimmer, listen to everybody else. I do not need 27 tracks. I don't want a playlist. I want a nice, like, digestible size of music. When you give me 14 tracks, 13 tracks, I can sit there, I can listen, it gives it replayability. But when you give me 50 million tracks, I'm not trying to listen to it. Like Bruno Mars, I loved his album, like even before it like super popped. I loved his album because it's a solid like 13 tracks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So Cardi, I appreciate you keeping it short and sweet, boo-boo. Thanks.
So I'm gonna just get this out of the way.
Go ahead.
Y'all all know I digest music. I care about bars, but I grade, I'm a huge proponent of putting rap into its genres and grading them according and such.
Mm-hmm.
Stop comparing Cardi B. This has been all on my timeline. Stop comparing Cardi B to Rhapsody. Don't do that. Like, don't.
Have people been doing that?
Yes. And it's like, people be like, oh, she's no Nicki, she can't rap, etc. Lie to me and tell me you enjoy Pink Print. Shut up. You know what I mean? Y'all like you know I'm a Nicki fan, but tell me something that Nicki has done that's been immaculate bars wise outside of the looking ass freestyle and her monster verse. Name me one. You can't. She dropped Anaconda, which is just a fun song, right? It's just, like, get out of here, man.
Now what was that? No, she had one other song. Just one
Pills
song.
and Potions?
No.
Get out of here, man.
There was one song on Pink Print.
Anyway, what I'm saying is I'm gonna rate this Cardi B album. I've listened to it twice, 3 times. I listened to it 3 times. I'm gonna rate this Cardi B album, but again, I'm rating this Cardi B album for what it is, and I'm comparing her against her peers. The lane that Cardi B is in the same lane as Future, the Migos, Young Thug. Like she's a party trap type rapper.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't compare the Migos to Kendrick.
Yeah.
When I grade a Migos album, I grade it against Ray Shrimmer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So afford Cardi B the same
like
luxury.
let her stay in her lane.
You know what I mean? Like
we don't have to chop people down. Let's just look at it for what it is.
Anyway, first of all, this is a debut album.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was pretty good.
I'm gonna give her that. I've listened to all of her mixtapes, and
She's gotten a lot better.
So I was about to say, you can tell like talent wise, and you can tell that she's definitely like industry savvy now.
Yeah.
Like compared to her Gangsta B Word mixtapes.
Yeah, but I was really pleased because when I saw the cover and I heard the song that they put out, I was a little worried. The Be Careful song, I was a little worried that she wasn't going to be Cardi still. But boy, was she still Cardi.
Cardi is here, baby. Cardi is here for y'all.
So that made me happy. Like I said, man, I give this album, and then we'll get into the review itself. But I give this album a 2.5, and that's the only reason I don't give it a 3 is because I don't think it's going to have a whole lot of replay value for me, and that's just because it's not for me. Like this album is written for women, right? This is for you. This is all your Instagram captions for the whole summer. Is on this album.
I'm glad you said that. Like literally, She Bad came on, and I was like, I'm going to play this every morning when I get up and just dance. But I'll give it a 3. I think the thing that's keeping me from this is I wanted her to find better voices to sing her hooks. And I guess we can get more into that.
Singing them all herself.
Not just that, but even when she's not singing them, like I didn't like what was the song? Not Through the Phone. There's 2 songs in there that she had people on the hooks. I just was like,
Ring with Kalani.
Yeah, God, I don't know how I feel about Kalani, so there's that. But I don't know. I just feel like her hooks could have been done a little bit better.
I'm with you.
But other than that, I'm here for you, Cardi. I gave you a 3 out of 5.
I wasn't quite there for the Be Careful song as the single, especially after hearing that I Like It song and hearing the song with YG and hearing
oh my gosh, I love it.
Hearing Moneybag, hearing the song with Chance the Rapper. Like I felt like there were a lot of other songs she could have picked for the single that would have went. But I get what she was doing. She was trying to do like the whole ballad thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But Anyway, I just told you my standouts on the album. To be honest with you, like I really enjoyed the "I Like It" song. I really enjoyed "Moneybag." I really liked the YG song. I didn't like the SZA song. Like when I saw the featuring SZA, I was like, "Yo, I'm gonna like this song." I didn't really like that song.
I
as much as I
didn't
should.
like that song being the last song on the album.
Yeah,
Because it felt like when it went off, it felt incomplete.
it felt empty on.
Yeah,
us.
and I was like, okay. Even though I love SZA too. She Bad, but the YG song is definitely my favorite.
Yeah,
that song
it's
goes
a good
hard.
song. That's a club,
That should have been a single. I like it. I definitely like the production on that song. I didn't like the Chance song as much as I thought I would.
He doesn't really fit.
He doesn't fit. And when I didn't look at the track listing. I just wanted, like, when she released it, like, I saw the album art, but I was like, I just want to listen to it. So when I heard him, I was like, oh my gosh, Chance. I didn't like the pairing. Wow. Yeah, but and then I keep forgetting how big of a hit Bodak Yellow is.
Bodak?
Until it came on, and that song still gets me hype, y'all.
Damn.
Still. And Dear Cardi. I'm still there for that.
So how do you think it's gonna sell?
Are people still buying music?
Yeah.
I mean, I think Cardi's the hottest thing going right now.
Ask you a trick question because I know the answer already.
Well, okay.
So it debuted already gold.
So isn't that so? Like, I know a lot of people were trying to cut her for that. I'm gonna give you your props, Cardi, but weren't a lot of people saying that's because of the singles or something like that?
They're not saying it. It's
That's not why.
Yeah,
okay.
It's a there's a loophole that every 10 track sales, so every 10 times that you sell a single, counts as one album sale. And Bodak Yellow went platinum 5 times.
Yeah, it did.
And she put that on the album. So before she even says, she doesn't have to sell a physical copy at all.
Right.
Just because Bodak Yellow is on the album, it's already gold. Congratulations, Cardi.
Hey, I'm not taking anything away from you, Cardi. Go ahead, boo-boo.
But anyway, man, I enjoyed the album. Y'all know we love Cardi. I've said this on the podcast before. I've never been checking for an album for Cardi.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I enjoyed back before Cardi was big, like the Bloody Bars freestyle. Like, I just enjoyed seeing a woman just spit like that. Like, I like that. I was impressed with the album. I thought that I was going to turn this album on and just be like, I didn't think she could carry a whole album, but she did. This album is better than the Migos' album. Like, there wasn't I did not enjoy Culture 2 at all. Like, they were like, I was like, I
enjoyed that video with Drake though.
I did enjoy,
but
that song.
Not
is
the song.
trash.
I hate the song, but I love the video.
When I first heard that song, I was like, this is a waste of a Drake feature.
Yeah.
But it's better with the song. But anyway, I thought Cardi B did a good job on this album. This is her debut album.
Yeah. So, like Gabriel said, like, we've been fans of Cardi for a minute, and I fell in love with Cardi's personality first, and then I went back to her first mixtape and listened to it, and then second mixtape dropped, and I was there for it. So I have been waiting on this Cardi album. And I'm pleasantly pleased. Like, I'm there for Cardi. I'm happy for her. I like what she's doing. She put out great music, and I'm ready for this Breakfast Club interview.
She has a Breakfast Club interview?
She has to. Why would she not? You know what I'm saying? Huh?
I don't know, because she's pregnant.
Is that confirmed?
Yeah, she's definitely pregnant. That's why she rushed this album out. You think she just wanted to only have 13 songs? Like, in February, she said the album wasn't done. And then the pregnancy rumors come out, and then all of a sudden she gets a release date. We can talk about that another day. Anyway, I enjoyed the Cardi B album. I thought it was dope. Stop hating on Cardi. Stop comparing Cardi to people that you have no business
real
comparing
quickly
to.
Before we finish, so going right on back to Miss Minaj. Nicki Minaj is hella petty, y'all, and just be ready because Nicki about to drop at some point within the next couple months. But the day that Cardi, it was either when she dropped, was it the album art? Nicki Minaj posted on her Instagram for the first time since December. And it was like a random, car ad or something that she was like featured in or something stupid like that. I was like, this is so petty. Like, I don't have time for that. But then it made me realize how irrelevant, I don't want to say irrelevant, but irrelevant Nicki Minaj is right now.
She has very low cultural impact.
Like, as of right now, like, Nicki, like, your little bars are there, but ain't nobody else checking for you right now. But I hope that Nicki comes spitting bars and makes herself relevant again, because I like Nicki's music. Except for the pink print, but
I can dig it.
you know. But, woo woo, go ahead, Cardi. Do your thing, boo-boo.
So Notre Dame won the women's national basketball championship.
Congrats, because that Final Four, with that UConn game against Notre Dame was amazing.
2 buzzer beaters.
2.
Why don't people care about women's sports?
I don't know.
It frustrates me.
It frustrates me to no end as a former female athlete and as a coach. Females women put in just the same amount of time as men do for sports, master our craft, maybe even more so master our craft at sports than men, but we don't get the same shine as them at all.
Because you don't dunk.
Because we don't dunk.
Brittany Griner dunks, though. Shout out to Brittany Griner.
Shout out to my old neighbor.
No, but that really be and I'm being facetious. I actually really enjoy women's sports.
Yeah.
I'm one of the biggest Dallas Wings fans there is. Dallas
Go
Wings
ahead,
is
Dallas Wings.
The Dallas WNBA team. Speaking of the Dallas WNBA team, so I am self-proclaiming myself a brand ambassador of Dallas Wings.
Okay.
And I am going to do everything in my power to bring more shine to women's basketball in Dallas.
Bet. Okay.
Like, got to do it. So, season starts on May 7th.
Okay.
On this podcast, if we get 100 tweets that say stop talking about the WNBA, I'll stop talking about it. I probably won't, but it would be cool to get 100 tweets.
Right.
But yeah, the season starts on May 7th, and on June 12th, they play the Mercury, which is a team that Brittany Griner plays for. So I want to see that. But shout out to the Dallas Wings.
Right.
The EBS is going to be at a game this year.
I've been to a couple of games. I've actually, depending on my schedule, I might buy some season tickets. I love Dallas Wings. They're fantastic, and it's a cool environment. Like, it's a really good. I'm glad that Dallas got a WNBA team.
Yeah,
I'm glad. I'm there for it. But women's sports deserves way more shine. And the impact that had on sports, like UConn losing. Like, I feel like the women's collegiate Final Four should have gotten, or the whole tournament should have gotten more shine than it did. And
I agree.
I don't know why we don't, because we don't dunk.
I think that's it. I just love basketball, though. You know what I mean? So I'll
Fair.
watch it, the men, women, cats, dogs. If you're playing basketball, I'll watch it.
Yo, y'all know some cats and dogs that are playing basketball out here.
But like I said, I actually enjoy women's basketball. This sounds like this is like that. I have a black friend thing, but It's like I like basketball so much that I watched Saluki State versus South Dakota women's basketball on TV.
So who?
Saluki State.
Oh, Saluki State.
I was just like, it's good basketball. I just watch basketball. I think watching basketball at its highest levels, like the Final Four, like that's just dope. But anyway, you're gonna hear more about the WNBA on this podcast because
we support it.
We support the Dallas Wings. Shout out to Skylar Diggins. So Rosanne got rebooted.
Okay, I don't care.
That's fine.
We
didn't even tell the people what the top 5 was today.
Oh my gosh. Well,
the top 5 is our top 5 shows that we would have rather seen rebooted
than Rosanne.
Do you want to get into the top 5 right now?
Let's just do it.
Let's just go.
Let's just do it.
Let's just go straight into the top 5.
Oh no.
I think that works. So here are our top 5 shows that we think we'd rather see rebooted than Roseanne.
So I'm going to say something before we start talking about it, which I probably shouldn't say, but I'm here for it. I don't like reboots. Or maybe I just don't like this culture that we're in where we're rebooting everything. Why reboot? Let's just new boot. Let's just put out new shows. Like, I don't like... I surely did. I don't like this idea of, here's a show that used to work. Let's see if it'll work now. Like, why not? Hey, let's come up with a new premise for a new show and stop being lazy. Let's do that. So I'm not a fan of reboots, but I liked this. I like this topic. Like, shows we would rather have rebooted than Roseanne. So all of my shows kind of take a certain trend in the type of show.
They're all black.
No.
Do you have honorable mentions?
I do not.
So I also didn't have honorable mentions, but I have the flip side. My honorable mentions is shows that I don't want people to read.
I was gonna do that. We're in the same wavelength, boo.
We're siblings.
We're brothers. We're happy and we're singing and we're colored. Da-da-da-da. Give me a high five.
So shows. Before we get into my top 5 shows, just really quick that I don't want to see rebooted.
Okay.
Fresh Prince.
Yep. That's my number one.
Do not do Fresh Princess.
Absolutely not.
Do not do Fresh Princess.
No. And Will, you are on a tear on social media. Don't do it, Will.
Don't do it.
Don't do it, Will.
Number 2, Sister. Please don't do it.
It's in the works.
Please don't do it.
It's already been greenlighted. It's in the works.
Number 3, Family Matters. Don't reboot Family Matters.
I don't think Homeboy would do it.
Number 4, don't reboot Boy Meets World. I know what you're gonna say. It shouldn't have happened.
So we're just gonna ignore.
It shouldn't have happened.
When in the first episode, it's not a spoiler. It's the first episode when they did a ghost Feeny.
Shouldn't have happened.
I said, let me tell you what I won't be doing. Is this right here.
Should never
And
happen.
let me go ahead and add to your list, which y'all can go ahead and say what you want to say, and you can come from me, Black Twitter. I don't care. They should not be rebooting Martin.
Oh,
It's like they absolutely should not. Martin is a classic, and it stands on its own. And Martin does not work in today's society.
why?
Did you watch Martin? Martin is so sexist and bigoted. Like, you can't have Martin today. It literally won't work. So I don't know why whoever is doing that, stop it.
That's fair.
Stop it. So I'm gonna go ahead and add Martin to that list.
All right.
Okay.
So shows that we would rather see rebooted than Roseanne. What's your number 5?
All right. So my number 5 is which has also kind of been rebooted, but no, Rugrats.
Okay.
Okay, so the Rugrats was a fantastic show. I think that taught a lot of lessons. It was great for kids. I don't remember. I think it was my favorite show from the 90s. I love Rugrats. I don't need they did All Grown Up where they were a little bit older. We don't need that. I don't need you to reboot Rugrats saying like the kids would love it if we did this again, but maybe had like modern technology. No, I don't need regular Rugrats. Regular Rugrats. I don't need Rugrats 2.0. I don't need that. I don't need Tommy, instead of using the little screwdriver, get out the playpen to have an iPad and know how to hit the buttons. I don't need that. Okay, leave Rugrats alone. Don't reboot it.
I can dig it.
That's my number 5. What you got?
But you want them to reboot Rugrats. Just you want it to be the same.
No, yes. If they were gonna just be the same, don't touch it.
So my number 5 is a composite, but my number 5 show that I would rather see rebooted than Roseanne is Living Single / Girlfriends. But I say that because I wouldn't mind seeing another show with like funny black females that are like the black version of Girls. I wouldn't mind seeing that today. And I feel like that's what both Living Single and Girlfriends was. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't mind seeing a black version of that today. I think that would be dope.
I love Girlfriends. I think Girlfriends doesn't get enough respect.
Yeah,
it's a fantastic show. All right, so my number 4, I don't really know if it works. So there was a show that came out a couple years ago called About a Boy that Gilbert put me on. That was really, really good. But it ended quickly. Abruptly ended. But I think the premise of that show was funny. And I liked that. So I would like a reboot of About a Boy. I think that would be good. So reboot of About a Boy. The whole premise was there was an older guy that had he lived next door to a single mom and her kid, and they him and the son became friends or something like that. It's really weird, but I think that's an interesting premise that if they started it up again because the show ended so abruptly, I think it would work, and I think people would find it funny if you had the right writers. So my number 4 is About a Boy.
My number 4 is something that people have tried to do, I think. I think people have tried to do similar things, but excuse me. My number 4 is Comic View.
Oh.
I would love to see somebody pick Comic View back up. And not just like these, because I've seen a couple of Netflix shows where it's we're going to take
last comic standing type situation.
Yeah, I don't want a game show. I don't want you to try to recreate Def Comedy Jam.
Yeah.
I want Comic View. Just Comic View.
What if I told you that Kevin Hart had a Comic View-like show on his LOL network? Would you buy it?
I downloaded the LOL network app.
Did you?
Yes.
Okay.
But I haven't opened it.
Okay.
You have to pay for it? You had to sign. You had to do I downloaded it and it was hey, sign up, and I was hey, no.
That's too many steps.
And then that was just it.
So is it free?
I don't know.
I didn't go any further. Dang.
But yeah, I'd like to see Comic View rebooted. What's your number 3?
All right, so this is so random. So my number 3 is a show that was on MTV called Fear, where not Fear Factor, Fear, because they've already rebooted Fear Factor, where Ludacris was the host. Fear, where they would take these people and strap cameras to them.
Oh, I remember that.
And they would like tell them a scary story.
It was like Blair Witch.
Yeah, they would tell them like a scary story about whatever like place this was, and then say, "All right, go stay in there." I don't know why, but that show used to make me laugh. Like it was the funniest of things, and I liked it. And I feel like there's no shortage of like scary stories and ghost stories and like random places. Let's bring that back. Let's do that again.
I can dig that.
I'm there for that. So my number 3 is Fear.
My number 3 is very similar to your Rugrats point, but my number 3 is Muppet Babies. And what brought this about
Oh my god.
is I have a 2-year-old daughter,
Okay.
and I heard a very familiar song the other day. It was the Magic School Bus song. So she's watching the Magic School Bus, and I look at it. Where's Miss Frizzle? That redheaded lady's not Miss Frizzle. It's like Miss Frizzle's niece or something.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, dang, they rebooted the Magic School Bus. But it's like, that's dope because like the old Magic School Buses is not in HD.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter's not going to watch a standard definition show. You know what I mean? She's born in 2016. You know what I'm saying?
Whoa.
Like, but I just realized that Muppet Babies is not a thing anymore. And I would like for my child to be able to experience Muppet Babies in HD. So I feel like they should reboot
My
Muppet
baby needs
Babies.
to have these high definition Muppets.
I'm saying. Can I get a Muppet Babies reboot?
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I can't.
Muppet Babies low key was kind of creepy though.
It's not low key. Puppets are the creepiest. Of
No,
things.
but the mom was just legs.
Oh my god.
Do you not remember that? Like Muppet Babies is kind of creepy, bro.
Oh my god. The mom was just legs.
Bro,
Why was the mom just legs?
What's your number 2, bro?
Wait, we need to talk about Muppet Babies.
I don't think so.
That's so weird. All right, so my number 2, again, it's a random show. So there was this show that came out in the mid-2000s called The Joe Schmo Show. And it was on, like, what's that weird channel? Like Spike TV that ended up being turned into something. It was like Spike TV, TV for men or something like that. It ended up being turned into something else. I don't know. FX, there you go. But the premise of this show was that it was a game show where they took one random person and everybody else, they were actors, and they wanted to see how much this person could take without knowing that they were the subject of the actual show. So like they made him go through these terrible, terrible like events and challenges where he didn't know that everybody around him were actors. Like he just thought that he was a part of the show. Does that make sense? And and it just kept building and building and building. And I loved the premise of that show. It was funny. And they did like 3 seasons of it and then it stopped. I think we should bring that back. It's not necessarily a prank show, okay, because prank shows are stupid. But I like that premise of somebody not knowing that they are a part of a bigger experiment or a bigger...
Truman Show.
Yeah, like the Truman Show. A bigger thing in general. So... The Joe Schmo Show. It's my number 2.
My number 2 is short and simple. The Wire. Like, The Wire was a fantastic TV show, and the premise of The Wire could easily be episodic. Like, it could easily be the same way that True Detective is, even though True Detective is trash. But it's like, you know how they had a story the first season and they moved on to another one?
Mm-hmm.
Like, The Wire was all about Baltimore and the heroin trade in Baltimore. You know what I mean? It's a big deal, but you could easily do The Wire in LA.
Yeah.
Or The Wire in New Orleans or The Wire in Brooklyn or whatever. Like,
yeah.
I think that another gritty crime TV show like The Wire, like that has to do with urban culture, I think that could be really dope, especially in today's society. Like to get because on The Wire, burner phones was like, it was amazing to them. They were like, oh my god, they got these cell phones and they're blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Like to be able to get like dramatic insight into what, because I always ask myself like, is people out here that are moving like serious weight in 2018 and they're not getting caught? It's like I would love
Like,
to see
how is that going down? Yeah.
Like I'd love to see that dynamic on TV of like seeing the cops try to play cat and mouse and like trying to figure out how these people are moving drugs in a 2018 society. Like, cause they're not like in The Wire, people was still on the corners, like moving dime bags. Like people ain't selling crack on the corners anymore. You know what I mean? So it's like, I feel like that'd be a dope show. But
okay.
It is what it is.
Or it'd be a lot of text messaging.
Or it'd be a really boring show.
Or it'd be. I didn't mean to shut down your premise. I just, when you said that, it's like people aren't just standing on the corners; they're more like dapping people up.
That's fair.
It's like, yo.
And also the cop part would be really easy because people are stupid and they'd be like, yo, Detective Sully, what are you doing? It's like, oh man, I'm looking at this drug dealer's Instagram. He's got 40 keys.
He's holding a brick to his head.
Right.
So
this is no longer. I no longer want to see this show.
Actually,
I would rather see Rosanne.
Oh no!
Than my number 2.
I didn't mean to do that.
What's your number 1?
I'm sorry. All right, so my number 1. My number 1 again is one of my favorite shows of the 90s. Legends of the Hidden Temple. Okay, now listen, don't make that face. Listen, Legends of the Hidden Temple had everything. It had action, it had trivia, it had critical thinking skills, it had random people jumping up at you, scaring you when you're in the temple. I'm there for that. But here's the thing, it wouldn't just have to be kids. Like, it could be adult Legends of the Hidden Temple. So, like, you have a partner, you have to go through these series of skill tests and critical thinking puzzles to get to the temple. Tell me you wouldn't want to be on Legends of the Hidden Temple right now.
You know what made me mad about Legends of the Hidden Temple? It was the same show as Guts with a hidden temple. Like the aggro crag was just the hidden temple.
Can we talk about how there was like Guts and then there was like extreme Guts? Like, it's like, this is the same show.
I can dig
it. But no, like for real though, I have spent an entire evening multiple times with my friends watching like American Ninja Warrior and all these shows. Like, you tell me that Legend of the Hidden Temple wouldn't pop off?
It probably pop
Come
off.
Come on.
I'm with you.
A Legend of the Hidden Temple. That's my number 1.
My number 1 is In Living Color.
No.
I feel like
no.
I feel like with all of the black comedians that we have, the Wayans could get a dope black sketch show together. Like, we need a black version of SNL.
Actually, you know what's funny about that? And I'm going to cut you off. When we were making these lists, I was messing around with the idea of bringing all that back. And I feel like that's kind of in the same lane.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Like, shows like the Dave Chappelle show, Key and Peele, like those shows made a killing.
Yeah. Because
those shows appeal, that it's literally SNL for us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, In Living Color did that better than anybody. And we got like the Gerard Carmichael, Tiffany Haddish, Kevin Hart, D. Ray Davis, like all of these people, like, and even like you get like the Young Bucks, like King Badge, and the boy with the stupid stuff in the middle of his face,
DC Young Fly,
like all of those guys, all these social media cats, like I think In Living Color could be dope today.
I mean, and like we have technology to where like YouTube makes it perfect for that avenue. Like, make quick little sketch. Like, why don't we have more sketch shows? Like
a sketch show for quote unquote urban culture right now would make a killing. Like, it'd be really good. Yeah, like All Def Digital, that's all they do. Yeah, you know what I mean. But I just want it all conglomerated in one spot.
One place. That would make a killing. I'd watch that.
But anyway, needless to say, we don't like Roseanne. So there are 10 shows that we would have rather seen rebooted than Roseanne.
I don't even know what the premise of Roseanne is. And doesn't it just sit on the couch and complain?
They're white.
They're white and angry?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it.
I'm good. I'll pass.
Anyway, thank you guys for tuning in to this 17th episode of the EBS podcast. We appreciate it.
EBS.
Okay.
And that's our show. EBS.
Right.
Hey, we about to go.
All right. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram.
Hey, that's our show.
It goes without saying that we don't have a theme song. If we did, that's definitely not it.
EBS. Break it down. Hey, that's our show.
I see you guys in a fortnight.
We got to go. EBS.